An ex NSA employee that worked as an information systems security designer has been arrested in Colorado on espionage charges for allegedly trying to sell US military secrets to foreign powers. Damn, homie didn't learn anything from Edward Snowden, did he? You don't go to Colorado when you're trying to cross Uncle Sam. No, you flee to Russia, where American feds don't have any jurisdiction because the Cyrillic alphabet boys are the ones in charge. Now, according to court records, the suspect, Jara Sebastian Dulke, was apparently trying to make contact with someone from Russia's foreign intelligence service via their Onion site to try and sell the classified national defense information that he had gathered. Now, I talk about people who make opsec mistakes a lot on this channel, but this guy, he is probably the biggest screw up of all time because the consequences for him, they're going to be far worse than the creator of the Silk Road, Ross Ulbricht, who you guys might know is serving a life sentence in maximum security prison, because this Dulke guy, he wasn't selling drugs. No, he was selling secrets to an enemy of the US government, an enemy that we're literally fighting a proxy war with right now. So yeah, he's probably going to get charged under the Espionage Act, which carries a death sentence. In fact, I bet you that Joe Biden is going to personally ride his bicycle down to Colorado, and sure, he's probably going to get lost along the way or get distracted by ice cream and lollies, but when he gets there and he's reminded what he's there to do, he's going to wrap that pool chain around his fist and give this Dulke guy the corn pop treatment. Either that, or his ass is going to be thrown in Guantanamo Bay to eat the cock meat sandwich for the rest of his days. Now, it turns out that this Russian that Dulke was in correspondence with was actually an undercover FBI agent. Man, I hate when that happens. So during the past couple of months, this guy was using a foreign encrypted email account, according to the affidavit, which, you know, to me, kind of sounds like Proton Mail or Tutanota, if I had to guess. So he was using this to transmit excerpts of the 3 classified documents that he had obtained during his employment at the NSA. He had reached out through multiple channels to get in touch with Russia's foreign intelligence, but the encrypted email, that is how he got the response. And you know, I'm really curious how exactly that went down. I mean, did the foreign email service collaborate with the FBI to set this guy up? Did the feds just see that there was an account trying to email various Russian agents and they just decided to reach out to him first to catfish him? We'll just have to see, but you know, considering that the exact email service isn't even being mentioned in the affidavit, we may never know. But here's what we do know. This Dulke guy, he was a member of the US Army from about 2015 to 2018. He served as an E3 Private First Class Military Occupational Specialty 63W Healthcare Specialist. During that tenure, he obtained a secret security clearance in 2016, and then he began working for the NSA as a civilian employee from June 6, 2022 to July 1st, 2022. Then he was terminated from employment, and on his exit survey, Dulke stated, "I had to leave due to a family illness, and the agency was unable to support the amount of time that he needed to be away, which was 9 months." Pretty sad. Now, we also know Dulke's motive. He was desperate for money. In December of 2017, he filed for bankruptcy, and at that time, he claimed to have only $8,373.12 in total assets. He also explained in various correspondence with the undercover FBI agent that he was almost $250,000 in debt, with $93,000 of that debt due very soon. So yeah, this guy was definitely desperate for money, but of course, desperation, that's one of the things that leads to these kinds of mistakes, which is probably why Dalkey jumped on the opportunity as soon as somebody who was impersonating a Russian SVR agent reached out to him. So during his correspondence with the undercover FBI agent, Dalkey had sent some excerpts. One was secret and two top secret documents, which was proving that he really was in possession of the top secret material. And then around August 26, Dalkey informed the FBI agent that if he wanted to get more, because, he's just sending excerpts, even if this was a real Russian he was talking to, they probably wouldn't be able to do anything with that. So if he wanted to get the juicy stuff, he would have to pay Dalkey $85,000 in an unnamed cryptocurrency. But given the fact that Dalkey had a background in cybersecurity and the fact that he cashed out this crypto through the exchange Kraken, it's pretty safe to say that Dalkey was asking to be paid in Monero. So what could possibly be the problem with that? I thought that Monero was heckin' untraceable cryptocurrency that all the cool kids on the dark web are using. Well, yeah, it is, but if you want to cash out your illegally obtained Monero, there's some additional opsec measures that you have to take. You see, when you open up an account with Kraken, you have to identify yourself. They are a know your customer exchange, so you've got to give them things like your social security number, pictures of your driver's license or your passport, your full name, your address, so on and so forth. And so if you're dealing with an adversary like the US government, and more importantly, if that adversary is sending you specific amounts of Monero, and then a week later you open up an account with Kraken, and those same exact amounts of Monero, minus transaction fees, which are pretty small, if those same exact amounts are getting cashed out through Kraken, well, at that point, it doesn't matter that the transactions are hidden with ring signatures and decoy addresses on the Monero blockchain, because you can just use common sense to identify what's going on, because it's extremely unlikely that somebody is going to open up a fresh Kraken account and start cashing out those exact same amounts of Monero that you were sent. In fact, that's probably the reason why the FBI agent, instead of just sending him one big lump sum of Monero, decided to do different transactions in different amounts. There was one for about $100, there was one for about $4,600, and then finally one for $11,500, or around that amount. So all of this is really no different than drug dealers getting caught because they go and buy a fancy new car right after they flipped a couple of birds of white. So even if this guy was a little bit smarter with his crypto, he still got set up because he ended up actually meeting with the undercover agents to try to sell the rest of his stolen documents in Colorado. And originally they wanted him to fly up to Washington, D.C. to do the deal, which honestly, that should have set off a giant red flag right there, because why on earth would a foreign intelligence agent meet with a traitor in the nation's capital? I mean, do Russian spies just have balls that big that they would try to do something like that right out under the Fed's nose? But honestly, Colorado really isn't that much better either, because like I said at the start of the video, doing something like this on US soil is extremely dumb, because under the Espionage Act, it's going to cost you your life. And after he was arrested, the NSA actually did their own investigation, which revealed that Dalkey was the only employee at the NSA to ever print out that specific combination of documents. So as soon as they knew what documents this guy had, they basically had him dead to rights. So I guess R.I.P. Dalkey. He's gonna disappear, probably either to a cell in Cuba or a hole in the ground. Homie forgot that printers have logs. Even non-NSA networked printers keep pretty close track of who prints out what and where and when. He could have probably been better off if he was working with digital files, at least if he was able to remove any identifying metadata that might be embedded in them. And man, the opsec mistake with Monero. Homie forgot to churn his coins and sit on them for a little bit. I mean, come on, you don't receive 11 grand from a supposed Russian spy and then immediately cash that out through Kraken. That's just retarded. And all of these mistakes cost him his life. And he'll go down, at least in my history book, as the biggest OPSEC failure of all time.